Okay, we are recording, and we're going. Okay, we're in the middle of the Shema. We're going to have today's Tuesday, correct? So we can do another class on Thursday. Maybe Thursday's class will devote to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Let me share my screen here. Okay, so we started with the Shema and the second paragraph last week. I think what I'm going to do for you, Lana, is turn my camera around. You can see this a bit. That works out. Does the light reflect there badly? I'm trying to lift it up a bit. I'm going to make it that the light doesn't reflect so much. Okay, I'll try like this. Okay, so here we are in the Shema, and we saw these words over here. Go to the English, and it will be right. This is the second paragraph. And then if you obey the commandments that I enjoin upon you this day, right? If you listen to the commandments of the Lord, serving Him with all your heart and all your soul, I will grant the rain for your land in season, and early rain and late rain, and the late rain. So gather in your new grain and wine and oil. And I'll also provide grass in the fields for your cattle, and you shall eat them and your fill. Take care not to be lured away by and serve other gods and bow down to them, because the Lord's anger will flare up against you, and He will shut up the skies so that there will be no rain, and the ground will not yield its produce, and you will soon perish from the good land that the Lord is assigning you. So we spoke about how this is the beginning of Kabbalah's all mitzvahs, accepting upon oneself the mitzvot, and how the mitzvot, we're meant to do them for the intention, as an expression of loving God and serving God, and also that they are consequential. Right? These are consequential. Now, can we explain, to what degree can we explain what happens to us, meaning the blessings or the curses, in terms of the degree to which we keep the mitzvot? It would seem from this parsha very clearly, I got a new toy today, let's try this. It would seem very clearly that it's all dependent. If you listen, then good things. If you don't listen, well then, right, bad things. Has that been the Jewish experience? Is that the Jewish experience? Yes. If one reads the book of Shoftim, the book of Judges, one very much gets that impression. Let's see how this works. So Rashi says over here, Rashi says, I have to do that every time. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay. So Rashi says, "B'chol levavchem v'b'chol nafshechem." Actually, I think the Rashi is translated. Let me see. Yes. Rashi says, "And to love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul," says Rashi. But has it not already admonished us to love God by the words in the first parsha of the Shema? thou should love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul. Why do we need a repetition? So this is true of all commentary of the Torah. The Torah is not repetitious for the sake of being repetitious. Whenever there's a repetition, there's either an accent being made or it's for a reason. So there's Rashi that, but that was an admonition addressed to each and every individual with all your heart, while here it is an admission addressed to us as a community. It's in the plural. And I think we've pointed this out a few times, that levavchem in the Hebrew means your plural hearts, your plural souls. Whereas in the first part of the Shema, it was singular, you as an individual. So says the Ramban, Nachmanides. Nachmanides was just maybe 100 years or so after it's called Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman. He was about 100 years after Rashi. So he says that he picks up on this Rashi, and he says that these blessings and these curses, let's call them curses, are rak al maisa roiv ha'am. Sorry, there's no translation online for the Ramban. These blessings and curses are going for roiv am, most of the people, right? What is the majority of the Jewish people? What do we as a nation look like? I said we'll devote Thursday to Rosh Hashanah. I'll share one thing with you now. If we look at the first of the Ten Commandments, I'm the Lord your God who took you out of the land of Egypt. So it's a statement. It's a statement. It's not in command form. And the question is, how are we meant to relate to it? What is it saying to us? So some statements elicit a response. I love you is one of them. You have to respond. Thank you will not work. I love you too normally works. So I am Hashem your God is one of these statements. It is God's statement of who he is to us. And it elicits a response of who we are to him. What is our answer? Who gets to answer this question? Is there, in fact, a correct or ideal answer? If we would look at a majority of the Jewish people today, think of all the Jews worldwide, 12 million or something like that, what is our answer? Who, right? If God has told us who he is to us, what are we to him? What is the Jewish answer to that question? That will determine, that's what the Ramban means here, roiv ha'am, in Hebrew, majority of the people. The majority of the people, yes, the Jewish nation, it's, I don't want to say lives and dies, but flourishes or struggles dependent on most of the nation. That's what the Ramban is saying. Hayachid, says the Ramban, but the individual, who b'schuso yichya or b'avayna yamus, the individual lives in his own right, according to his own merit and according to his own sins. So you've got the national well-being, or lack thereof, and then you've got the individual living in his own or her own way system. So then the Ramban says like this, that this, what we are talking about over here, is miraculous. This is miraculous, that if the people keep the mitzvot, suddenly there's rain and everyone is satiated and it's great. And if people, the majority of the people don't, it's really bad. That's on a level higher than something natural. It's on a level what's called in Hebrew, l'mala min hateva. It's above nature. And that's what it said in last week's Parsha, that the people of the world, the other peoples of the world will look and say, what's going on with these Jews? It's very strange, right? There must be something, there's something miraculous, there's something abnormal happening to the Jewish people. So says the Ramban, that's also that's a law for the nation as a whole, but for the individual is it lives within, he says, minhago shel olam, the way of the world, meaning nature. There's a natural order to the world, and the divine providence, what happens to us as individuals, unless we are completely righteous or completely wicked, will be within the normal way of the world, the natural order. Things will happen. It's much more, it doesn't mean that God is not sending us messages. It means that the messages are within nature, which means they're much more subtle, they're much harder to pick up on, but they are there. They are there. Okay, so that's an important and interesting Ramban as to what are these blessings and curses going on in this parsha. Okay, let's jump to the Rambam, Maimonides. Maimonides wrote a book called the Mishnah Torah, the Yad HaChazaka, which is an amazing compilation of his summary of Torah and all the laws of the Torah. And I wonder if this is translated here. Oh, yes, it is. So now he asks like this. He says, there is a concept. That concept is in the Talmud, in the Gemara and Kedushin, that says, Rabbi Yaakov, the Alma, Skar Mitzvah Bahai Alma Leika. The opinion, the Gemara has a discussion and says it's what's happening in the Gemara right now. A statement is in the opinion of Rabbi Yaakov, who says there is no reward for performance of a mitzvah in this world. As one is rewarded for mitzvot only in the world to come. So Maimonides, he codifies this. He says, yes, that is that's the way the world works. We don't really get rewards for our mitzvahs in this world. So he says, now, after it is known that reward and good, which we will acquire for observing the precepts and the way of the Lord according to what is written in the Torah, consists of the life of the world to come, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayst prolong thy days. He says he's talking about the world to come, and the punishment inflicted upon the wicked who abandoned the righteous path described, right, consists of excision, as it says that soul shall be utterly cut off from the world to come. What is this which it is written throughout the Torah? If you will listen, and if you will hearken, you will be overtaken by thus, and if you will not hearken, you will be met with such. And all those things are in this world. For instance, plenty, famine, war, peace, government, oppression, permanency in the land, exile, success in undertakings, its failure, and other similar texts in the covenant. So the Rambam asks a very interesting question. He says, hang on a second. The Talmud says there's no reward for mitzvah in this world. Okay. What then, says the Rambam, does it mean right over here in the Shema that the mitzvahs are the most consequential things and determinant things in the world as to whether we will get rewarded in this world? Right? What's the rain in its time? What's the rain in its time? Is that not a reward for a mitzvah? So remember, Nachmanides Ramban's answer is, yes it is, but that's talking about the nation level, national level. The individual, you only get rewarded in the world to come. There's Maimonides. I'll give you another answer, an alternate answer. He says, all those things were and will be true as long as we observe the precepts of the Torah. All the good of this world will overtake us, and as long as we transgress, then we will be met by those evil things described therein. Nevertheless, neither of those good things the end of the reward for observing the commandments. The meaning, nor are those evil things the end of the punishment to be inflicted upon those who violate the precept. This is just the beginning. For so all the matters balanced, the Holy One, blessed be He, bestowed upon us His Torah as a tree of life. Right? So, according to Maimonides, the most important principle we need to know is, how do I erase everything? The most important principle to know is that the Torah is a tree of life. And that means that through the Torah, we acquire the life of the world to come. And that's our true place, and that's where we will, that's the eternity of the world to come. And that means whoever conducts himself after the prescribed order therein and studies to know it with a complete and upright knowledge, he acquires therein the life of the world to come. And in the measure of his works and wisdom, he obtains his acquisition. We were moreover assured in the Torah that if we observe it in joy and out of the goodness of soul and constantly meditate in its wisdom, he will detach from us all such things which prevent us from observing it, such as sickness, war, famine, and the like. He will, in addition thereto, be bountiful unto us, giving us the good which sustains our hands to observe the Torah, as plenty, peace, and increase in silver and gold, so that we may not be occupied all our days in the things of bodily need. Meaning, says the Maimonides, in order to be engaged, in order to be able to spend our time engaging, embracing the Torah as a tree of life, we need not be occupied all our days with our bodily needs, but instead we will be at leisure to study wisdom and observe the precepts in order to acquire the life of the world to come. Meaning, meaning, what is Maimonides' theory? He says like this, that the reward for mitzvah is in the world to come. The Shema speaks about reward for mitzvah. He says that's not reward for mitzvah. That is the facilitation, right, of a mitzvah. Meaning, when you're sick and you can't, you have to focus on your physical needs. when you don't have food, you need to focus on your needs for food, right? We have basic physical needs. So says Maimonides that when we keep the mitzvot, God says, okay, you're interested in the mitzvot, I will give you more opportunity to keep the mitzvot. And that's what it says in Pirkei Avot, in the Ethics of the Fathers. Let me just see if he, does he quote that here? I don't see it here. But that's what it means, schar mitzvah mitzvah. The reward of a mitzvah is a mitzvah, meaning the reward of a mitzvah is the opportunity to do another mitzvah. And it would seem from the Rambam, from Maimonides, that this is in fact true also for the individual. So whereas Nachmanides says on a national level do we have reward and punishment in this world. So you should say reward. There's definitely punishment. We have reward in this world. Maimonides says, no, there is reward in this world, but it's never reward. It's not the actual reward. It's just an opportunity to keep more mitzvot. Okay. Let's see what was here. Yeah, okay. A few more commentaries about this. Yeah, I think that's enough. Okay, so for today, that's what we have. We've studied. That which it says over here, you got to accept on yourself the mitzvot, and as a consequence of the mitzvot come either your well-being or all these curses. Is that a national, something we should understand on a national level, or is that not really the reward and punishment, but the consequence of being allowed to keep more and do more mitzvot? Or I guess the negative is saying, well, if you don't want the mitzvot, God says, fine, you don't need the blessings to occupy yourself in them because you're not using them, so I'll take them away. And let's just see here. Yeah, he likewise, this is what the Rambam is off with. He made likewise known to us that if we will purposely abandon the Torah and busy ourselves with the vanities of the times, as the subject is spoken of by saying, but Yeshurun waxed fat and kicked, the true judge will detach from the forsakers all the good of this world, which has strengthened their hands so that they kicked, and bring upon them all the evil to prevent them from acquiring the world to come, so that they will be lost in their wickedness. Meaning, that's what the Talmud says in another place, a person is led, normally we don't understand it this way, but no, a person is led in the way that they want. So if you're a person that wants that relationship with God, that wants to cleave to Him and learn about Him and follow His precepts, but then God says, fine, I will give you every opportunity. If you're a person that doesn't really want that and is using the blessings of this world against that, God says, I'm sorry, I will not be part of that. I'm not going to bless you. I'm going to take everything away. And you're going to follow what you want is that you don't want this, right? You want this world, so yeah, no, you can take it. Okay, fine. Any comments, questions?
Just thank you. It's I can say definitely these years are adding to my daily davening for sure.
Okay, fantastic. Good. All right, everyone. Thank you. And
see you Thursday.
Thursday.
We will. Yeah, see you on Thursday. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Keep well.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Speak to you later.
Okay.
Okay.
Stop share. Okay. Fine. Abraham, you okay?
I'm still here. Oh,
One, two, three.
says Beverly.
It was really Abraham. Is it?
Is it your husband on the thing?
No, well, that's just a picture. That's
Just a picture of her.
yeah. You can put up a picture. Fine. Okay. We'll speak to you later, Mom. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you on Thursday.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Love to everyone.